Most people believe that aging begins in the mirror. No, aging begins in the nervous system. Long before the face changes, the body is already paying the price of stress, of unresolved traumas, of sleepless nights, of hypervigilance, of years spent surviving without ever truly recovering. And after 40, biology begins to tell the full story. Because the human organism does not forget. The body remembers. Every period of fear, every humiliation, every loss, every year you functioned on the outside and collapsed on the inside. People think trauma is only psychological, but trauma becomes biological too. The brain, the nervous system, hormones, and the immune system communicate constantly. This means that severe, prolonged stress can literally alter how the organism functions. Sleep becomes fragmented. Inflammation rises. Breathing becomes shallow. Muscles stay tense. Energy drops. Recovery slows down. The body enters a state of continuous defense. And an organism that permanently lives in defense ages faster. This is the truth that very few people understand. The body does not just need food, it also needs safety. Because the organism is constantly asking one single question: can I relax now? And if the answer is no, year after year, biology begins to sacrifice regeneration for survival. That is why you sometimes see people who are still chronologically young but profoundly exhausted biologically. Their eyes betray them. Their posture betrays them. Their movement betrays them. Their face betrays them. Biology always confesses. In medicine, there is a procedure called debridement. When a tissue is severely damaged, the doctor must first clean away what is damaged before real healing can begin. You cannot build health over ignored degradation. And life often works the same way. You cannot build vitality over ruined sleep, severe exhaustion, mental chaos, permanent stress, chronic inflammation, or years in which the body lived as if the world were ending tomorrow. That is why the first step of biological reconstruction is not perfection. It is stabilization. And this is where most people go wrong. They look for dramatic transformations, intense motivation, extreme discipline, miracle solutions, quick procedures. But the nervous system does not heal through intensity. It stabilizes through predictable repetition. Biology needs rhythm. And if you leave this lesson only emotionally moved, but you do not change your daily structure, nothing will change biologically. Because cells do not listen to intentions. Cells listen to what you repeat. So I want to leave you with a real start. Not perfect, but biologically correct. Start by waking up at approximately the same time. Go outside into natural light in the morning. Morning light helps the brain regulate the circadian rhythm, cortisol, melatonin, and energy. The phone must not be the first thing your brain consumes. Natural light must be. Then move. Walking, mobility, resistance exercises, stairs, the body in motion. Not for aesthetics, for biology. Muscle is not just physical appearance. Muscle is metabolic and neurological protection. After 40, muscle mass influences energy, insulin sensitivity, hormonal stability, bone density, mobility, and recovery speed. Movement sends the organism a very important message. Life goes on. Adaptation is still worth it. A sedentary lifestyle sends the opposite. Sleep also becomes essential. Sleep is not laziness. Sleep is neurological reconstruction. During deep sleep, the organism repairs tissues, regulates hormones, reduces inflammation, and recalibrates the nervous system. You cannot negotiate with biology for years without paying the price. Cold bedroom, darkness, less artificial light at night, less overstimulation. Biology loves predictability. And there is something else people ignore tremendously. The nervous system is also affected by the environment you live in, by chaos, by constant conflict, by overstimulation, by toxic relationships, by the lack of boundaries. You cannot heal an organism that you terrorize daily. Reducing chaos is biological treatment. Sometimes, true maturity means stopping living in environments that keep your body in a permanent state of alert. Because emotional safety directly influences biology. Trauma affects posture as well. This is real. A traumatized body begins to close inward. Shoulders slouch forward. Breathing becomes shallow. The diaphragm stiffens. The jaw clenches. The body begins to look as if it is permanently bracing for impact. And sometimes the first sign of healing is the fact that the organism begins to occupy space again without fear. That is real reconstruction. Not just looking better, but no longer living biologically like a person pursued by life. Movement becomes essential here, because the organism responds to mechanical signals. Science calls this mechanotransduction, the way cells react to movement and force. In other words, your body listens to the way you use it. And I want to say something very important for people who already feel biologically broken. The human organism can recover extraordinarily well, more than most people believe. I understood this during the hardest years of my life. There were periods when I functioned in public and collapsed in private. Periods when fatigue no longer felt like fatigue, but like deep wear and tear. And yet, I continued to enforce structure: walking, nature, discipline, training, routine, writing, elegance. Not for image, for survival. There were mornings when the simple act of getting up felt hard. But I understood something fundamental. Biology follows repetition more than the emotion of the moment. And slowly, the organism began to respond. Sleep changed. Breathing deepened. Inflammation decreased. Energy returned. Strength came back. Posture changed. Light returned to my face. Not by magic, through slow reconstruction, through thousands of small decisions repeated long enough. And perhaps here lies the most important lesson of this course. Biological youth does not mean not aging. It means not abandoning the organism inside the aging process, to continue building life within the body, to keep giving it sleep, movement, breathing, light, nutrition, safety, and reasons to believe that the future still exists. Because after 40, the body becomes an autobiography of your stress, of your habits, of your relationships, of the way you walk through pain, of the way you abandoned yourself or reconstructed yourself. And perhaps the most important thing I want you to take with you after this lesson is this: you do not need to reconstruct your life perfectly in a single day. You only need to stop destroying your biology daily. That is all. Walk, sleep, breathe deeply, lift weights, go out into natural light, hydrate, protect your nervous system, maintain structure even in suffering, and do not abandon the rituals that keep your body connected to life. Because the human organism is constantly listening to what you repeat. And if you repeat life long enough, eventually the body begins to believe in it again. Press subscribe. See you in lesson 3.